the channel. You already know what it is. It is episode 2, season 1 of Fatima. Child, listen, I hope you guys enjoyed last night's review. Tonight is part 2, and then tomorrow will be right on track with number 3. So let's go ahead and dig right on in it. And if you haven't already subscribed, like, and share, go on and do that. Like, right now. Yeah. But anyways, let's dig right into it. Girl, okay, so child, listen. The scene ended. Remember how the scene ended yesterday, right? So the scene ended with the girl, I believe her name's Belinda, is her character, coming in and basically saying that she fucked Zach, right? So the scene opens up where Fatima is standing up in front of Belinda and asking her to clarify what she just said in the last scene, child. And thank God Angela was there. So Angela was like, she kind of intervened and was like, let's go ahead. She suggested that they went outside and discussed it amongst the 3 friends because, they have history. They've been friends for a long time. Let's not let some D get in the way. Let's clarify everything, clear the air, and let's figure it out, right? So then, they do that, and as they're leaving, well, they left, and then Zach mentions to Bruce, which is his friend, the Asian guy, that the ATL is so small, like ridiculously small. Like, what's the chances of him having sex with her friend, right? Child. Then the next scene, it goes back to the girls outside and talking about what happened and like what were they dating? Like Fatima's like, were y'all dating? Were y'all just talking? Like, etc. What's going on, right? Then Belinda is like, maybe you should ask Zach to tell you what happened, right? Child, they go back and forth. Like Fatima's like, no, you should tell me. Why don't you want to tell me? Da da da. Right? Then she goes and she's like, well, I flew in town and I met Zach at the airport 2 years ago, and we had sex, and he never called me. He like basically ghosted me. He never called me again, right? And then she was so mad about him ghosting her that she ended up going to the shop that Karen works at and telling her everything that happened, I guess, with their sexual relationship or whatever, whatever. And ended up being her beautician. She still gets her hair done, is what she had mentioned. She was like, oh yeah, and I still get my hair done by Karen. So now they're not bringing Karen or old characters in this new episode, but they are mentioning, other people from the other shows, which, now I feel like it kind of makes sense because, when we were looking at Sisters, we was like, oh, okay, well, Zach cheated on Karen. And we were like, okay, trying to figure it out and piece it out. Now I guess it kind of makes sense. And now, like, he, so y'all don't think I'm naked. Anyways, so y'all we kind of are able to piece it out again and be able to see that he had cheated on Karen with Belinda, the girl that just kind of, flew in town, whatever. But so the women were able to talk it out, realize that he had, it was years ago. But I think it's good in a sense that Tyler Perry is showing, even though there is a disagreement amongst friends, that they are able to go ahead and talk amongst each other and smooth it out and not have to be so hostile or have to fight or things of that sort. So I really appreciate the fact that he's showing that side of a Black woman. So Belinda basically, had talked to Karen at the shop, and basically because Karen was hurt, she was saying that Zach ain't shit, basically. So Belinda is now believing that Zach ain't really shit. And that's what she's telling, Fatima. But I feel like at the end of the day, like, that was 2 years ago. Zach, now he has money. Now he's trying to be independent. Now he's trying to be a different man. And I feel like Fatima should see that. Fatima should see that Zach is totally a different person, you know what I mean? And don't go based off of what her friend is saying or what Karen's experience with Zach was. Because, I'm just like, that meme where it's just like, yep, that's my man. I'm going to stick beside him. I feel like she should do that, basically. Like, that's her man, and you should stick beside him and let him prove to you whether he or not he's a good man or not. You'll see. Time will tell. The writings will be on the wall, okay? Then they were able to finish talking outside, the girls, and they came in, and I believe it was Angela was like, okay, are y'all ready to eat? And it's funny because Bruce, her dude that she's dating, was like, oh, we're still eating? It's like as if it's like, oh, it's an argument and it's gonna go down and like we're not gonna have dinner anymore. Like, so I really appreciate again that Tyler showed like we can get over things and carry on with what our plans was. And our plans was to have dinner. So we about to do that. So I hope that he continues to show not only black relationships, but black women, black men in a different light than what I feel like social media and media shows us, you know what I mean, to be. Anyways, so they go ahead and they're going to have dinner. They're going around the table and kind of telling each other about each other and about themselves, sorry. And then gets goes to Bruce, and Bruce then was saying, or I think it was Angela was saying like how Bruce works for Gary, and Fatima of course does not like Gary, and she was like, I'm not going to, I guess, judge you based off of who your manager is. And Gary, Bruce was like, maybe you should give him a second chance, but even though he only knows him, have a relationship with him from work. He doesn't have any other relationship outside of work. And Fatima has seen him outside of work dating Andy. Bruce was like, maybe you should give him a second chance, and then of course, Belinda wants to jump in and say, yes, you should give him a second chance like you did your boy, Zach. Girl, Belinda just starts going off and being very messy, and we can then see the type of friend that she is. She's like the firecracker type of friend, right? She's the type of friend that's going to be messy and things of that sort. And I think Angela is more like the laid back, let's be a problem solver, let's like kumbaya, type of friend. So Belinda and Zach going back and forth. Then Zach gets up and he basically tears her a new a-hole, basically. Like, you're not going to be in nobody's man's house and be disrespectful when talking about this and this and that. And like, you're not. So, child, they went back and forth, and then Fatima was like, be careful what you say, like, be careful. And he was like, nah, I'm not, whatever. So he then says whatever, all the rest of what he had to say, and then he was like, I'm leaving, and he went and took a walk, right? Then Angela gets up after, well, at this point, I think Bruce had kind of got up and went out and ran to kind of follow Zach. And then Angela got up not that long after and telling Belinda, like, you did enough tonight, sis. Please take me home. Bruce can meet me at my house, but you need to leave by the time Zach comes back, which I agree, because she was being hella messy. So she does that. She gets up and they leave. Angela texts Bruce and was like, meet me at the house. I'm about to leave. So the next scene, you see Bruce kind of chopping it up with Zach for a minute. He's then gets a text from Belinda saying that she's gonna go home. I mean, not Belinda, I'm sorry, Angela. Did I say Angela before? Angela got up and told Belinda that we leaving. Angela then texts Bruce and let him know that they're leaving and to meet her at her house. So then I guess at that point, he's like, okay, cool. I'm going to go and walk back to the house too. Child. And then the next scene, Zach's walking into the house and you see Fatima in some lingerie. She's lighting candles. And child, from last episode when he had that steamy sex scene, I just knew she was going to be like, this is my man. I'm sticking beside him and I'm about to put this pussy on him. Okay? That's what I thought. I was rudely mistaken. That's not what happened. At all. Child, he walked into that house and it was just like, he was like tiptoeing. You know how guys or girls are when they know they in trouble and they know they did something and you like side eye try and see if she okay. She gonna try to kill me? Because Fatima ain't, wrapped too tight sometimes. So you be like, she gonna kill me? And she didn't. She was like, no, I'm not tripping. She kept on telling him, I'm not tripping. But I was just like, she tripping. I can just see it. She tripping. But like, thank God. Listen, okay? So they finally got in the bed and thank God. She must have heard me the last episode, okay? She didn't ask him for the body count, okay? She was like, listen, you with baby mama, this person, my best friend, like, who else will I have to be faced with that you slept with? So what's the number? Is it 10, 75, 100? Like, what's the number? And he was like, see, told you tripping. And she like, no, I'm not really tripping. I just want to know. You know what I'm saying? So I won't be blindsided. And he was like, I don't like to be blindsided either, right? So then he don't want to answer. So then he get in the bed And he asked her the same question. So I'm like, I feel I really appreciate that he did that, because sometimes in relationships you one sided. You know what I'm saying? It's good. What's good for the goose is good for the gander, honey. If you can ask me my body count, then I need yours too. If you can do X, Y, and Z in these streets, then I can too. Don't act like it's just one sided, honey. So he then asked her, what the table? What's your body count? 10, 75, 100? And then she got all in her feelings and, like, she just went to bed. At the end of the day, they both didn't answer, but at least I was proud of Fatima for asking. But they definitely didn't answer. So they went to bed. The next morning, the next scene, it's like Fatima getting, like, up, ready for dress and work, for work or whatever. And she tiptoeing out the bed, like out the room, trying to grab her shoes, grab her earrings and stuff like that. And then Zach rolled over like, where are you going? And she was like, oh, I was trying not to wake you. But he was like, girl, you was blow drying your hair. How am I not going to wake up? Like, hello, good night. Hello, yeah. You know what I'm saying? So he was like, okay, well, that's fine. I understand you still kind of your feelings, you mad. So can I at least get a kiss before you leave? And she was like, mm-mm. And she walked out, right? So the next scene is Fatima she's driving to work. She then talks to Angela, and then I guess Angela's like, oh, maybe you should go and talk to Belinda, or have you talk to Belinda? And she was like, no, but she was like, maybe I should, since it's kind of en route to work, maybe I should go and talk to Belinda real quick. So she then, goes to Belinda's house, and she's over there wants to have a conversation with her. And Belinda, just says that she doesn't want Fatima to get hurt anymore, which I understand, with our friends. You find a good friend and your friend doesn't want to see you go through whatever pain they had to endure the last relationships in the past, and see how people take advantage of you, or see how people you use your kindness for weakness. And it's a lot that, friends, as a friend, you have to really see your friend go through, and you really don't want to see that anymore. So I understand, like, her being like that. But at the end of the day, you have to also still allow your friend to make their own mistakes and realize it for themselves, like, okay, I'm not going to do that no more. This is the lesson in that relationship, and I won't do that. Or I realize that they're repeating relationships, or something in that relationship is repeating. But at the end of the day, you have to allow them to have their own growth and their own experiences. And you, as the friend, just need to be there to support them, and be there when they fall, or if they fall. And if they don't, then just be happy and celebrate them for that, But at the end of the day, it was just like, okay, they just kind of like, Belinda apologized to Fatima, and she was saying, like, she kind of felt bad, because I guess now, she is kind of seeing that, first of all, she acknowledged that he put her in her place, because, child, when I tell you he did, okay? But she also needed to acknowledge that maybe he is different, maybe that had a lot to do with how she felt when it comes to dudes, and she feels rejection or rejected from a dude, and then she kind of just goes overboard with this. So she had, her own personal growth that she saw, and she apologized to Fatima, and then also was like, oh, maybe I should apologize to Zach. And she's like, oh, no, not the place, not the time. And she's like, oh, okay, you're right. Patience. I'm learning that, right? So I mean, I'm happy that he's showing the growth in friendship, the growth in your own personal, experiences. I'm just glad of all of that Tyler is showing. Then the next scene is showing it's showing Bruce calling Zach and let him know that the FCC, there's this lady that's gonna be calling him, or he was asking, did the lady Gretchen call him from the FCC, the ESC, BB, and CC, child. I don't know, okay? I don't know. I just report, and do these reviews. I'm not, into federal government stuff. Like, I don't know. It might be BB and CC calling. I don't know. Anywho, but he done asked if this person called. Her name's Gretchen, and he was like, yeah, he did get a missed call, and he wasn't sure who it was. And then Bruce was like, call immediately, because you don't want her feeling like you're avoiding her. And he was like, oh, say, are you gonna come? And he was like, oh, no, you don't want, to show that you have something to hide. So he was like, you got to do this on your own, bro. Like, I already schooled you on everything that you need to say, but you on your own, child, okay? And Jack is like shitting bricks, you know what I'm saying? He's so paranoid. He's so like, whew, Lord Jesus, right? So then he calls Gretchen back. Gretchen's like, okay, well, do you know who I am? He's like, no, not really. Where am you calling for? Da da da. They go back and forth, and then she's like, well, I'm gonna be there at noon. And he was like, oh, okay, noon, sure. He was not ready, child. So Gretchen, she comes and child, she is grilling him like grilled cheese on from Panera with the tomato soup on the side, honey. Okay, she is grilling like all in his ass. Okay, asking 100 questions and like, girl. So he's trying to prove to her, that how he found out about the stocks, right? And he was like, well, I was in jail for 3 years. And she was like, yeah. And he was like, well, I had enough time and opportunity to be able to like study stocks, be able to do the algorithm and all of the other stuff with stocks. But she was like, yeah, but why? How did you know that stock was going to hit? And he was like, well, I came out, I was in this program. I made like $20,000. I put my money in it. At first it didn't hit. It kind of sunk. And then he said that he wanted to, keep it in there. So he kept it in there. And then the next time it hit. So then he put all his money out. Child. And then she's like, okay, well, show me these algorithms and all this thing that you study. Go get your computer, right? Now, at this point, I'm thinking, oh, okay, Gretchen's believing it because of her facial expression and everything. She looked like she believing it. Like, and then, like, he was selling it, though. I ain't gonna lie. He was hella selling it. I was sold, okay? I was like, oh, Zach doing a good job of lying. But he was selling it, child. Listen, if it was whatever it was sold. I sold it. I bought it. He sold it and I bought it, child, okay? But Gretchen she did not buy it, honey. She was just sitting there acting like, she was a good actress, okay? In that pretend world, whatever, right? Because she was making it seem like he was getting off, right? And then he went to go get the laptop. He's showing them all the little algorithms and the little bars and shit like that. And she's like, oh, okay, yeah, that's great. And she keep on asking and asking. And then he's like, whew, okay. He think he off the hook. And then she picked up her phone, child, and was like, so who's this? And she shows him the senator's wife and was like, so you either gonna tell me the truth or I'm gonna open the door and have FBI come and get you. And that's how it ended, child. Listen, I was clutching my pearls because I really thought that she had believed him. But in reality, she didn't. She was like, this nigga blowing smoke up my ass. But you know what? At the end of the day, it's just like, I was just like, okay, tomorrow the new episode gonna come, and we gonna do the review or whatever, and the live tweets and things. That's all right. But I was thinking to myself, self, do you think that Zach should tell her the truth or continue to go with his story? And I was like, self told me, I think he should just call her bluff because maybe there's nobody really outside because they had been in there for a long time. You think the FBI really gonna sit outside and wait all that time? I don't know. I mean, a part of me feels like they do. I mean, they would, but then a part of me feels like I think she, so I would just call her bluff and be like, just call him because this is my story and I'm sticking beside it. I'm just saying, like, you can't fold, under pressure. Zach, don't fold under pressure. You being in jail, there was a lot of pressure in there, and you've succeeded. Don't fold, child. Don't fold out of pressure, okay? I really, so far, this is number 2, season 1, episode number 2. It's called Water on the Bridge. So far, so good. I'm really enjoying everything so far. I really like the development of the characters. I really like the images that Tyler has been showing with this show. I really, really, really love it. And I don't know what made him do that in regards to, like showing her standing by her man, showing and believing, that her man has changed. Not arguing and fighting with the friends over this new dude, but being able to really iron it out as women, as adults, and being able to have conversations. I really, enjoy and appreciate the things that he is doing with this show. So listen, it's juicy so far. I'm loving the every layer of it, and I cannot wait to see where the relationship goes and where the season goes. Yeah, I just can't wait. It's great. It's good. So hopefully you enjoyed this review. Love bugs. I love you guys to pieces, and we will see each other tomorrow, Thursday, which is episode 3. I'm not sure the title of it as of yet, but we will be here. Be here or be square. Period. Anyways, love bugs. Like, share, subscribe, and tune in tomorrow at probably 8 o'clock tomorrow. Love y'all. Can you focus on me? Baby, can